Hey, fine. Good day to you, ladies. Just be aware we are live. Every time, Crystal, with the backgrounds. So cool. Look at that.
Thank you. I woke up this morning and I said, that's where I want to be. So mentally, I'm there.
I concur. Mentally, I'm right with you. Oh, there you are. That really looks beautiful. And the color saturation with the blues and the greens, and then a nice shoreline as the split. Who put that together? Nice.
Thank you, Google.
Right? Thank you, Google. It's right, though, right? I mean, Miss Clay sent a message saying she will not be in attendance. Shall I send out just a blast? See if we can get more folks in, or what are we thinking? Maybe just leave it the way it is? No? Yeah. We've announced it. We've sent
Yeah, and if there's second attempt, I'm over it.
Right.
I want the collaboration, but if people don't want to come,
Yeah, what can you do? Right?
yeah.
Dr. Alhungar, today I have a quick question regarding on Monday's attempt to meet. Would you like me to have anything formally written out on a doc, or too much?
Remind me of which Monday or what are we meeting?
This past Monday for School Site Council, you know how I was postponed.
Okay,
Do I need to have anything in writing for that?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Okay.
But you might want to, in somewhere on the very first item, the welcome item, is to underneath that notate that this was postponed from Monday today, and that's more than enough.
Thank you.
Thanks for checking into that, though. Right on. I know that Robert's Rules of Order have become quite the topic around these parts for the next couple of months, and I'm sure for the next several months as well. So I want to try to stick to it as much as we can. I'm learning more and more about it. I'm not an expert in the field, but because I've never run a district level or a state level advisory that needed to be appointed, so but we are running locals, and so it's fun to see how Robert's Rules of Order can be very helpful.
So can we get started?
Mr. Velasco, sorry.
Dr. A?
Yeah, you guys are talking about it. I can tell. Yeah, you are. Look, no denial even. They're just into it. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up.
Hey, all right, so if we could start, please.
Sure, let's go. Oh, because the president's not here, and the vice president's not here, so.
I think if we can at least record in the minutes that we've discussed the budget items that I need addressed, it's April 30th. Then we can revisit when more people come.
Can I adjourn the meeting or not adjourn? Sorry, Velasco. Can I get it started? Motion to start.
Motion.
All right, let's go.
All right, so I'm going to assume that Ms. Nunez, you will give me permission to support the facilitation of this process. Just want to make sure we did it the right way, again, especially since our parents or our students aren't here. So give me one moment, please. I'll take over. Alrighty-o. So on behalf of Ms. now Nunez, everybody welcome, calling to order. Now go to now Ms. Nunez. Anybody in item number 2? Anybody put in any requests to speak? If
Not on my end. No public input.
Then we can move forward to the next item, which is item number 4. It's Dr. Cicada with a presentation of our Title I budget.
Hardly a presentation, really. I just want to go over what kind of funds we still have available because I'm proposing we fund a couple of positions. Do you want me to share my screen or just talk to you in numbers, Dr. A?
It would be, I think it would be best to at least show something on the screen, especially. Do you want me to record this, by the way, or no? I think we're fine streaming it right now because it will be. Okay, got it. Oh, here comes Ms. Rios, by the way. Hello, Ms. Rios. Have you joined us yet? Oh, no, she looks like
It
she's
still says connecting.
there. She is. Hello, Ms. Rios.
Oh, hello. How you doing? Happy Friday.
Yeah, you too as well. We're moving along on our agenda. Just to catch you up very quickly, we went through and Ms. Nunez, as the secretary, called us to order and asked me to facilitate that process, of course. And then actually, we didn't approve last week's minutes, last month's minutes. And so the minutes have been posted for 3 weeks now. Is there a motion to approve or discuss?
I'll approve. I looked over them.
Dr. Cicada is the first. Any second to approve?
I second.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. So last month's minutes are approved, and there was nobody for public input. No, nothing has been submitted, Ms. Rios. And now we're right now starting our presentation of the Title I budget. So we made it right in time. Thank you.
Okay.
Here comes Ms. Corona. Actually, Ms. Corona is coming in now.
Oh, nice.
Sorry, I know we wanted to just and then flooded, right? So it's just good. It's good. The more the merrier. The better, right? Mr. Velasco, nice to meet you, sir. Hola, Ms. Ariola Corona. Hello.
Ajá. Hola, buenas tardes.
Gracias, thank you. And Mr. Sanchez, I'm not seeing Mr. Elizararas joining us. So if you kind of to serve as our partial translator while I see where Mr. Eliz. Oh, sorry, Mr. Elizararas is out sick today, unfortunately. Either Mr. Velasco or Ms. Rios or Mr. Sanchez, if you would kindly translate.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can do my best. I know that I get stuck on certain words, so maybe I can get some help from Ms. Rios or Mr. Velasco, you know, the words I get stuck on. Or like, I'll do my best to translate to the best of my ability.
Thank you. And the floor is Ms. Dr. Cicada.
I think Ms. Rios just asked for the passcode to this meeting
Oh, no, there's no passcode.
in the chat.
Oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't monitoring.
Password?
Oh, she just wants the link? Is this, it's not a locked.
No, I just want the passcode. It's asking me. I want to connect through an iPod and because I'm using my
yeah?
phone. So
That's interesting.
yes.
Of course, let me see if there is a field. Oh, yes, there is. There's a passcode here. It's 433003. 433003. As long as you're on our link, it should open up. Please let us know if are you good?
It's 44300.
No, Mr. Gonzalez put it in the pod 433003.
Oh, okay.
33.
Thank you.
Okay, are we ready now? I'm so
I believe so, ma'am.
sorry. Okay, I'm going to attempt to share my screen. Oh. I'm not sure I have permission.
I'm sorry, I don't know why you don't have permission. If you just give me a moment, you should have. Just one moment, please. No, you should have total control. You can share.
It's not letting me.
Okay. How about, let me try that setting. You want to try that again? Are you seeing any functionality that says share screen?
Okay, now let's try and see if that helps.
Huzzah, we're in. Thank you.
All right. So
There
it's gonna sound weird now. So I am asking, I want to go over the Title I budget really quickly because there's an abundance of monies, mostly in part because, you know, schools weren't.
I apologize for the interruption, Dr. Cicada.
Yes, sir.
We have a person that's in the room from Santa
Oh,
Ana.
that's me. Sorry.
Oh, it is you?
I'm gonna
Okay.
change my name right now.
Got it. Thank you so much. I apologize, Dr. Cicada.
Sorry.
Okay, should I continue? Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, I was just saying there's an abundance of monies because we didn't have students physically on site. We didn't have parents on site. It's already a challenge to spend Title I funds anyway because they're very strictly monitored, as we all know. Really with the focus on instructional practice, instructional programs, intervention, etc. So I want to go over the monies that we have left over from this year and what we're getting next year, and talk about a plan for how we can spend them purposefully and in a way that benefits our students the most. So in looking at what's on your—
Dr. Cicada, could we probably just momentarily ask Mrs. Sanchez or
to interpret?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you, Dr. A. Okay, so señora Fabiola, el propósito de la Junta de la Directora Sequeira es para hablar del dinero del título 1 de este año escolar. Rápidamente, brevemente, sabemos que hay dinero extra en la escuela, ¿verdad? Y por las razones de las situaciones que estamos, de la pandemia, la escuela no lo pudo invertir, ¿verdad? En los estudiantes como lo hace cada año. You know, y de por sí es un poco difícil usar estos fondos, ¿verdad? Cuando estamos en persona. El propósito de hoy es trabajar en equipo y crear un plan para poder usar estos fondos para instrucciones, para programas de intervenciones, etcétera, que se enfoque más en los estudiantes, ¿verdad? Okay, Dr. Cicada.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Isaac. I completely forgot that we needed interpretation. My apologies. Okay, so this, looking at your screen right now, you can see that I've highlighted a column yellow with one blue cell. This is this year's budget, and this is what is left at this point in the school year. So over $244,000, almost $245,000 dollars left. And we will be allowed to carry it over next year, which is highly unusual. We're extremely excited that schools will be able to hold on to this money and spend it in ways that benefit our students. Go ahead, Isaac.
Okay, so como están viendo en su pantalla, la columna azul, que está como azul bajito, es esa cantidad de 244,946, es lo que está en el balance ahorita de la escuela. Y por lo regular, al fin del año, las escuelas no pueden usarlo el próximo año, pero por las razones que estamos este año, las situaciones de la pandemia, vamos a poder usar este dinero el próximo año. Vamos a empezar con este balance. Como explicó la directora, es un poco raro que nos dejen usar el dinero del años pasados, pero para el próximo año vamos a poder usar el dinero que tenemos en el balance del título 1 de la escuela.
Yeah, and just to give you, I'm just scrolling so you can see that there are a lot of lines in our budget, and they do address all 4 goal areas. And actually just this year, there's now a 5th goal that our Board of Education wants us to focus on. But because this is last year's budget, there's no 5th goal budgeted for. So you can see that these columns show what we were allocated, how much we spent, which wasn't very much. The last column is what percentage of our budget was spent in each area. And then, like I said, that very last shows how much we have left at the end of this year. And our budgets are closed at this point, so we can't spend any more money. And we have 71% of our budget still coming back to us for next year.
Yeah. Y como pueden ver, hasta ahorita, como en la primera columna del lado izquierdo, es lo que se ha gastado este año. No es... la lista no está muy larga, ¿verdad? Por la razón que hemos estado virtual, ¿verdad? Por la pandemia, pero sí tenemos dinero para el próximo año. Este año ya no lo podemos usar, pero para el próximo año vamos a poder usar esa cantidad que está ahí en azul y tenemos, nos queda más o menos el 71% del balance para poder comenzar con esa cantidad. Para intervenciones para estudiantes o para programas, ¿verdad?
Okay, continue.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to click over to this year's budget. So principals just met with our business or admin services department. And as part of that meeting, every year we have to go over the budget that they're giving us, how we plan to spend it, or we hope to spend it. Obviously, we move monies around all year long as needed. And then we go over our staffing too. So you can see in looking at this coming year's budget, 21-22, I highlighted in blue, we're getting an additional $266,000. So that's 266 plus the 244 in Title I monies alone. You can see with discretionary monies, 111,000, and that's money that doesn't go through school site council. That's money that's spent at my discretion. And then we also have supplementary money coming from LCFF at 87,000. So we will have a lot of money to spend, which is a good problem to have. And I have a couple of proposals on how I'd like us to address the Title I funds. Go ahead.
So como pueden ver, como explicó la directora, de este año nos quedan la cantidad que mencionamos hace rato, que lo vamos a poder usar el próximo año, más adicional, vamos a recibir 266,000 más, aparte de lo que nos queda este año. So vamos a tener más dinero de lo normal para la escuela. Y también dinero extra como suplemento. Vamos a tener 87,000 que podemos usar para intervenciones, para los estudiantes, para la vida. Y pues la directora tiene un plan de propósito que le gustaría compartir con el equipo para ver si podemos estar de acuerdo en usar estos fondos para el plan que tiene la directora.
Okay, any questions about the budget before we go into the next items, which are some of my proposals?
Okay, so ahorita señora Fabiola o señora Ríos o señora Gómez, ¿hay algunas preguntas antes de continuar con el propósito que nos quiere presentar la directora?
I think I will see the proposals and then we'll go from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Fabiola?
¿Alguien más?
Igual, escuchar
esperar?
primero el propósito. Ajá.
Okay, perfecto. Okay, she's same thing as Ms. Rios, Dr. Chiquita.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing then. All right, Dr. A, do you want to take us to the next items?
Oh, of course. It's my pleasure. Thank you. So we've had the overview of the budget, and as you can see, the next item on our agenda. Again, Ms. Corona, Ms. Nunez brought us to order, and she asked me to facilitate. You're okay with that? Yes? I can facilitate, Ms. Corona?
So como mencionó al subdirector Pepe, al principio de la junta, la maestra Núñez autorizó que sí podemos empezar la junta. Sí está bien que la empezamos un poquito antes de que se conectaran.
Sí, sí está bien.
Gracias.
Okay.
Okay. So the next item is a presentation of mental health services by Dr. Cicada. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you. So in the past, we have funded out of our own site funds, Title I funds, we have funded additional mental health support. And we just learned that this next school year, we are receiving an abundance of support, district funded. For example, each school is receiving a social worker that will be trained in mental health services, in addition to at least 2 more counselors for the size of our school.
So tenemos buenas noticias que del distrito. So para el próximo año, el enfoque, claro, va a ser académico, pero también el primer enfoque va a ser la salud mental de los estudiantes. So usando fondos del título 1, las escuelas van a recibir apoyo adicional del personal. So van a recibir un trabajador social que va a estar, que de preferencia va a tener la herramienta para enfocarse en la salud mental, para ayudar a los estudiantes, y también van a recibir 2 consejeros académicos escolares para poder también continuar a ayudar a los estudiantes con su salud mental, ¿verdad? Con sus clases, con lo que tengan, con lo que ocupen ayuda. Y ese personal adicional va a ser fundado por el distrito y que para apoyar a las escuelas. All right, Dr. Skinner.
Okay. I'm not sure where we are on the agenda, but I'm just going to talk and you guys can stop me.
We're on the mental health services. Mental health.
Right. But after that, what's the item after that?
Oh, sure. Sorry. Let me pull it up.
Neutral ground.
Okay, perfect segue. All right, so I'm proposing that we shift some of those monies from the additional mental health services, because now we are going to already be given a lot of extra personnel that can support us in that area, that we shift those monies to increasing our partnership with Neutral Ground. Right now, we only fund Neutral Ground for 2 half days, and we would love to have them there 5 days a week. Our kids love them. They connect really, really well with our students. If you saw our social media post this morning, they're already starting social and community building circles with our kids. And I think having them as a constant presence on our campus would be really wonderful for our students.
So, sabiendo esa parte de que vamos a recibir 3 personas del distrito y la escuela no va a tener que pagar para ese personal, entonces con el dinero que tenemos extra, la directora quiere poner una idea, pues, para ver si podemos agregar más días al programa que tenemos en la escuela este año, que se llama Neutral Ground, un programa, no sé si se ha escuchado o se han visto en las redes sociales de la escuela. Actualmente nos ayudan 2 días, medio día, ¿verdad? 2 días por semana. Y pues la directora le gustaría tenerlos todas las semanas o 5 días por semana. Los niños les encanta trabajar con ellos. Se conectan con ellos, hacen círculos de comunidad, como no sé si han visto fotos en la página de Facebook de la Escuela Vía. Creo que la directora subió una foto esta mañana. Y después, pues como la directora se enfocan en la salud mental, pues, y pues si están de acuerdo, le gustaría a la directora traerlos de 2 días a 5 días, ¿verdad? So, tenerlos aquí de 5 días para poder ofrecer más apoyo a los estudiantes.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah. ¿Hay algunas preguntas hasta ahorita? Just ask them if there's any questions, Dr. Siqueira.
Yep, perfect.
So Dr. Sequeira, next item is neutral ground support program, followed by instructional academic coach proposal. If I may, to hold off any discussion, unless you'd like to discuss item per item, because we can consider all of these as a consent calendar. If you'd like to, we can get through those two presentations and then open the floor for discussion. Is that?
Well, I want to hear if they have any questions specific to neutral ground, because
Correct.
it's very different than the instructional coach position. Anybody have questions or comments about it? Maybe you've experienced neutral ground.
Mr. Kayla, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm driving and I don't know if somebody else was talking. I apologize.
No, go for it, Ms. Rios.
Oh, okay. So for me, I actually reached out to the counselor so they could put him in neutral ground because he was lacking. And I've mentioned this before, the social support, like he would just all the time, he just wanted to talk to his peers. And he was coming from elementary school, so he's never even been on campus. And it got to him emotionally and mentally. And neutral ground, he's loved it. This is the second week that he went. He raves about it. He laughed with his peers. He knows what a classroom looks like. So I really strongly would support the program. I did have a question though with neutral ground. I happen to know Napi. We actually went to school together for a certification program with the founder of neutral ground. Do they target or is that the group together with the gang prevention or the youth that are at Promise, or they're all together?
There's a
does that make sense? My question is the neutral ground. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry,
Isaac,
I didn't know
want
if I
to
was
put the question before I answer? Sorry.
Do you want to say in Spanish, Angie? I think you might say better.
Sí, yeah. Sí,
Yeah,
lo que estaba diciendo señora Fabiola y Dalia es de que mi hijo, como hemos hablado ya, no es sorpresa, ¿verdad? De que ha sufrido mucho socialmente, que él no ni conoce la escuela porque vino de la elementaria. Entonces cada semana casi me lloraba que nomás necesita hablar con con sus niños de adolescentes que sean de la misma. Y esta es la segunda semana que tiene con ese programa de Neutral Ground y de veras que le encantó. Eso yo lo he visto un cambio, ha estado feliz y cada jueves él está feliz de que va ahí porque ya está en el salón, ya está con otros estudiantes. So, es un apoyo social para mí, yo pienso, y emocional, más que nada. Y yo siento y siempre he dicho que si un niño está bien emocionalmente y mentalmente puede ser exitoso en las otras áreas. Y cualquier cosa que sea con Neutral Ground yo voy a apoyar. Pero mi pregunta era esta, porque yo conozco el fundador de Neutral Ground y yo sé que trabajan muchos con pandilleros y niños que son a Promise, alto riesgo, ¿verdad? So, yo no sabía si mezclaban todos para esos grupos o si esos grupos de esos tipos de niños eran otro grupo diferente. Eso era mi pregunta para la directora.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to try my best to answer the questions. So at this time, because sites have been closed, the students that are included in those community building circles were identified in some way. It was probably a counselor recommendation. It could have been a cost referral. When we're back to reality, when we all get to be together on campus again, having them there full time will allow us to provide a lot of opportunities for students. Some will be recommendation only, and those community building circles will cover very specific topics. And then we'll also have some opportunities for kids to opt in, and maybe the child or the children choose the topic that they're going to discuss with our neutral ground mentors.
Okay, so entonces para contestar la pregunta de la señora Gómez, and if I miss anything, Angie, feel free to chime in, you know. So, como dijo la directora, este año, como hemos estado virtual por la computadora, los estudiantes que la escuela los ha invitado a regresar de nuevo en persona han sido por una de estas razones. Han sido referidos por los consejeros, ¿verdad? O por cost, por los consejeros, los maestros, ¿verdad? Los directores. Pero entonces tenemos esos estudiantes que nos han referido los consejeros o los maestros para que ocupan ayuda, ¿verdad? Están un poco mezclados, pero el próximo año, si es que regresamos en persona, ¿verdad? Entonces vamos a poder ofrecer apoyo a varios estudiantes y los estudiantes van a poder elegir los temas en lo que estén ocupando ayuda. Did I get it right, Angie?
Sorry, I had trouble muting. Yeah, it sounds like you did.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions regarding neutral ground? I hope I answered
No.
clearly.
Yeah, ¿hay algunas otras preguntas sobre el programa de Neutral Ground? Fabi or Leo?
I have a question.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm a slow thinker. So I was checking the totals that we have of extra money for next year. So if I'm thinking right, it's almost $466,000 extra that we have. And so my question is, so I'm in favor of neutral ground. I just would like to know how many kids or what's the strategy to get as many kids as possible, because we don't know how many kids are going to go back to school. The kids, like Miss Angie just mentioned, are transitioning from elementary and now going to Villa. But what about the kids that are not doing well in school? What about the kids that have mental health issues? So I just want to know if that's the only program that money is going to be allocated to help mental health services, and how, what's the strategy behind the group, and how many kids might benefit of this program. Sorry, señora Fabiola, voy a ver si me sale. Le digo que a mí a veces pienso demasiado lento, pero viendo las cantidades que nos dijeron que tienen extra son casi $466,000. So para el 44 casi llegamos al $500,000. So, entonces eso me emociona porque hay suficientes fondos para ayudar a nuestros estudiantes. Y no estoy en contra del programa Neutral Ground, nada más mi pregunta es, ¿cuál va a ser la estrategia para apoyar a nuestros estudiantes? Porque como mencionaba la señora Angie, su hijo viene transicionando de la primaria y también mi hija, entonces ellos vienen con una mentalidad. Hay niños que necesitan más apoyo emocional en otras áreas y hay otros niños que tal vez lo necesiten. So, la pregunta para mí es exactamente cuánto dinero se va a designar a este programa y cuántos niños se pueden beneficiar de este programa. Gracias, Isaac. Tú haces excelente interpretación, so no te preocupes.
Thank you, David. Gracias.
Okay.
Yo también tenía otra pregunta. También igual estoy emocionada que hay dinero, pero lo acabo de ver apenas exactamente ayer. Le dije a mi hija que lo iba a exponer. Mi hija está trabajando de ayudante a los niños que no entienden mucho español y estaba un niño llorando y le dijo ella, no llores, yo te voy a ayudar. Dice, mamá, dice, ¿por qué tiene que ser así? ¿Por qué si ven que el niño está muy atrasado no lo apoyan? O sea, ¿por qué hay demasiados niños en un grupo y no se alcanzan a dar cuenta que hay un niño que necesita ayuda? Y la maestra todavía le dice, si no haces caso, le voy a hablar a tu mamá. Dice, el niño se estaba comiendo las uñas. O sea, mi pregunta es a lo que yo voy. Perdón, Isaac, ¿quieres decir eso? Estoy hablando mucho.
Okay, creo que, okay, let me give her my best. So she's just giving us,
answer her question.
yeah,
So.
she's sharing a scenario about a student, I don't know what school, I don't know if it's VIA or another school, having, I guess, her daughter works currently helping students who are English learners. And I guess the student was getting crying, I guess. She reached out, saying like, it's okay, I'm going to help you. And a ver, ¿qué más? ¿Cuál era la pregunta, Fabi?
I'm going to have to stop you there, Isaac, porque
Okay.
señora Fabiola dice que su hija trabajaba en Villa, ¿no?
No está trabajando en Villa,
No
está trabajando ahorita en una escuela, ahorita. Yo apenas escuché.
¿Por qué es que no? Oh, ok, yo la entendí mal. Okay.
Y no, ella está trabajando con alguien, por eso ahorita como estamos hablando de que hay dinero, entonces mi pregunta sería, ¿qué estrategia se ayudaría? ¿Cuál sería lo mejor para poder ayudar? Porque ese programa me suena perfecto, pero yo ahorita conozco 3 personas de Villa que no están los papás como al pendiente de las necesidades de su hijo. Entonces, ¿cómo es que un maestro, yo sé que están haciendo excelente trabajo, pero cómo sería un pues trabajo, ¿verdad? De decir, ¿cómo te puedo apoyar si estás muy atrasado? Porque ahorita ya no es ayudarlo porque la mamá lo tiene que hacer. Ahorita el amor y la empatía es hacia el estudiante. ¿Cómo lo podemos apoyar? Porque ya viene lo emocional y aparte ya viene lo académico. Entonces, ¿cuál sería ahorita que está muy bueno que va a haber dinero? Ese programa que tienen de, no recuerdo qué dijeron ahorita, para quienes nada más está, para los niños que los refieren, pero hay mucha necesidad. También hay muchos niños que son invisibles o que no son escuchados. Entonces, me gustaría que si se pudiera, qué estrategia se pudiera hacer para poder apoyar a todos. O sea,
Cicada, would you give me a second to kind of synthesize these two concerns so that we can attack it in one? Because I think they're very similar. Señora Fabiola y señora Idalia, voy a intentar a juntar estas dos ideas porque parece que están muy similares. Las dos están preocupadas pues por platicar sobre las estrategias específicas que se van a llevar a cabo para apoyar a los estudiantes que actualmente necesitan bastante ayuda en su estado emocional. Y están bastante correctos los dos. Quiero recordarles a ustedes dos que lo que estamos hablando es, bueno, deja regresar. Cuando estábamos en persona, teníamos muy pocos recursos y aparte la escuela tenía que pagar por su parte para intentar de ampliar la cantidad de estudiantes que reciben servicios. Ahora estamos en la situación donde el distrito va a poner 2 consejeros adicionales y va a poner, además, que se platicó antes de la junta, que van a pagar por otros servicios específicamente para apoyar el estado emocional de los estudiantes. Eso ya es más de lo que teníamos. Y más aparte, la directora está tratando de poner o usar fondos para otro servicio más allá todavía, que es Neutral Ground. So, permíteme deje traducir eso. So, Dr. Cicada, what I just synthesized sort of is the idea that prior to the pandemic, we had to fund our own, much of our own mental health services. But the district now, with what's going on, is going to pay for a lot of additional services already, including the 2 counselors. And there was one more thing that you mentioned.
Social worker.
And the social worker, right.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is already significantly more than we had. And we're talking about adding yet another service, which is Neutral Ground. So what they would like to know, and their specific question is the strategies that we would be using to ensure that all students have access, including the ones who need it the most. But I'm thinking it's also a question of there are kids that are not the most needy, that sometimes fall between the cracks, and they want to make sure that there is a system in place that's going to identify those students. And by the way, one of my daughters will probably be one of those students, and I would be very much interested in knowing you know, if we're at that point. Now, I don't know if we're at the point of how we're going to identify these students. I'm sure there's a lot of moving parts to that as we come back to school, but that was their question.
Thank you. That was very helpful. You were spot on. Okay, so we are still developing the many systems we will use so that we can maximize the number of students that get to take advantage. Right now, like I said, because we've been away from school, it's been strictly a referral process. But I meet with Bree and Samuel. They are the 2 Neutral Ground coordinators assigned to VIA. I meet with them at least once a week. In fact, I met with them yesterday and I was texting them this morning. And so they know that we want to get creative with how we can not only reach out to as many students as possible, but open up the opportunities for it can't just be a referral, because yes, there are students that may not be on our radar because, you know, they look like they're doing fine. And we want to make sure that they have exposure to Neutral Ground, whether that's through assemblies, classroom presentations, lunchtime activities, you know, team building, community building through games and things. We want to offer a lot of different ways. I'm so sorry, it's trash day. I don't know if you can hear that, but I can barely hear it. Anyway, so yes, we are working on and talking about what we're going to do to maximize student exposure to their program. But it's still in development. I can't make any promises at this point.
And Dr. Cicada, I would love if we could, I know that usually it's like what you've mentioned is referral based through the counselors or through staff that they identified them. But because I think we're parents and we know our kids too, and even though they're having good grades, sometimes they just need that emotional support. If we could open up a certain slots to the parents, right? And have the parents also be able to self-refer the kids, I think that would be a good idea. So lo que estoy comentando, señora Fabiola, es que le digo que lo que está diciendo del programa de Neutral Ground usualmente es por los consejeros, ¿verdad? Pero yo le estoy sugiriendo que también a veces los padres somos los que conocemos los hijos mejor, ¿verdad? Porque están en casa con nosotros y fuera bien si es que también los padres tienen una oportunidad de mandar sus hijos, porque nosotros sabemos si es que están necesitando ese apoyo emocional y social, porque pueden tener buenos grados, pero no significan que están bien. So, es mi sugerencia para ella. You're welcome, Isaac. You don't have to interpret that.
Thank you.
If I may, just to, as a point of order, it turns out that he would normally have to interpret that for the public. So in this case, I think we can of course, since there's actually nobody watching us, so because I'm viewing the room, I think we're good to go. Just as a matter of order. That's all. Sorry.
Good point, Doctor. Good catch.
Okay, so Dr. A, do we want to vote on increasing our neutral ground, or do you want to do it all together with instructional?
Yeah, if it's all the same, if you wouldn't mind doing your next component of your presentation, and then if it's okay with Ms. Fabiola Corona, what I'll do is I'll ask for a motion at the end of your presentation to consider those items as consent calendar items, and if the motion passes, then we can just approve them all and move on. If it doesn't, there's another process for it, of course, at all. So if you don't mind, just that last item about the instructional aids, please.
Okay, and I did forget to add, I apologize. I forgot to add how much it's going to cost us. So we currently pay approximately just under $30,000 for the 2 days a week. So for 5 days, it would be about 56. So I would ask for you to approve up to 60,000, just in case we want to add some, maybe summertime with them or something like that.
Okay, so la doctora Sequeira nos dio un número. So actualmente por el servicio que nos está ofreciendo NutriGrant ahorita por 2 días por semana nos están cobrando más o menos $30,000, ¿verdad? Pero si es que el concilio escolar vote que sí, que le gustaría traerlo más días por semana para ayudar a los estudiantes, más o menos por 5 días sería más o menos $56,000. Pero le gustaría a la directora si podemos aprobar 60,000, 60, para en caso de que los queramos traer empezando este verano, ¿verdad? Y que continúen en el otoño y durante todo el próximo año escolar.
Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next item I want us to consider spending some of our money on are instructional coaches. And this would take form in 2 ways. So our teachers too are going to need support, and they're going to need support in providing not just addressing the academic needs of our students, but also social emotional as well. Isaac, do you want to go?
Okay.
I don't want to go too far.
Okay, so el segundo punto de la agenda, la propuesta es de aprobar fondos para los maestros para tener como coaches como de instrucción, como y no nomás es para apoyar a los maestros académicamente, también para pues ayudarlos con el socioemocional, ¿verdad? De que estamos regresando de virtual a persona, ¿verdad? Okay, good.
Okay, so the first one, I'll address the academic first. And we're not just talking about learning loss, which is that's something that we are going to face when we come back in the fall. But also supporting our English language learners and EL programs. Via our entire district just went through the federal program monitoring process, and they looked at EL programs, and it's definitely a weakness in Santa Ana Unified, including at our school. Historically, fundamentals did not serve EL students. And so we find ourselves in fairly new territory. And something that I think is we definitely need to address, we need to get better at supporting our EL students, our students that are, EL identified. And I'm going to stop there for Isaac. Go ahead.
Okay. So, en adicional de la primera propuesta para apoyos para los maestros, también a la escuela, a la directora le gustaría ayudar a los estudiantes con el learning loss, como esta palabra que han escuchado varios en las juntas del distrito, de las juntas del distrito, o el aprendizaje de pérdida. Pero el enfoque es ayudar a los niños de aprendizaje de inglés con más apoyo, con más programas, ¿verdad? Y pues como este año pues tenemos un poquito más de fondos, a la escuela le gustaría enfocarse un poquito más en este grupo para ayudarlos a que se recuperen pues después de un año de no estar en persona.
Yes, and I, a lot of times when we fund intervention, and which we probably will moving forward because we still have plenty of money to work with here. We talk about adding on extras for kids, right? An extra class period or extra tutoring, which we can also offer, but it's about real-time instruction. It's about supporting the teachers and the students during their regularly assigned class time. Why wait for students to fall behind to be identified and then stick them in an after school program or a before school program, which is additional work that benefits them, yes, but I think that it's most beneficial if we have someone on staff that will support our students, like I said, in real time in class, and support our teachers in their practices so that they can identify and address student needs during classroom instruction.
So, por lo regular, antes de la pandemia, ¿verdad? Siempre como utilizábamos el dinero para traer como más tutors, ¿verdad? Más para ayudar a los estudiantes después de escuela, en el programa de escuela, después de escuela, o como asistentes de maestros, pero como hay suficiente dinero este próximo año, a la directora, una intervención que le gustaría a la escuela y a la directora es utilizar parte de ese dinero como apoyo adicional en tiempo real, ¿verdad? En horas de la escuela para los maestros, para que puedan utilizar más servicios durante la escuela en vez de después de escuela, ¿verdad? Para intervenir en ese momento, no esperarnos hasta después de la escuela, ¿verdad? So, no nomás para el apoyo para los maestros, también para que haya más de un maestro en un talón, ¿verdad? Para poder apoyar a los estudiantes. Ese es uno del propósito de la directora. Did I miss something, Mr. Velasco? Or?
No, you're good, sir.
Okay, so that's one piece of it. The second piece of it is to hire an instructional coach or pay someone to take on the role of instructional coach, but to meet our social emotional needs of our students, again, inside the classroom. Yes, we have a lot of programs that take place outside the classroom, but teachers are sitting here in this room, right? How many times do things happen right then and there that need to be addressed, and not addressed, sent to the discipline office and reprimanded, but addressed in inviting someone into the classroom, helping the entire classroom community, support one another, develop relationships with one another, helping that student. We're going to have a lot of students struggling with readjusting back into the classroom setting. Our teachers as well are going to need that support. We've all been home for about 13 months. And we're excited to come back, but I'm not sure we are fully aware of what it's going to be like when we come back. We just don't know. We've never lived in this world before. So it would really benefit us to have an instructional coach that will just focus on the social emotional well-being of our students and our staff.
I think I'll let one of the teachers maybe share this piece. I think it would be more, it would make more sense to come directly from a teacher, their perspective,
I think you're right. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Por lo que estaba comentando la directora es que muchas de las veces, muchos de los programas que usamos como intervenciones se llevan a cabo después o afuera del salón o después de clase, ya que el alumno ya bajó, ya que el alumno fracasó académicamente. Entonces, estamos constantemente tratando de recuperar tiempo perdido. Entonces, lo que está sugiriendo la directora es de alquilar o contratar, contratar más maestros que pueden servir como asistentes de maestría dentro del salón para poder identificar estos problemas dentro del salón y remediarlos al instante, en vez de estar constantemente tratando de recuperar lo que se pasó. Y me imagino que los fondos se van a usar para contratar más maestros dentro del salón.
Yeah.
And for that, I think a fair amount, and we can increase it if we want, but I think at minimum, allocating 150,000 to this coaching time. Whether
150,000. Are you hiring? Sorry, I'll shut up.
It won't be one position. It may be multiples, but I think that that's probably a fair amount to budget for it.
Yeah, so el propósito más o menos del presupuesto para esta intervención, para apoyo para los maestros durante la escuela, sería más o menos de 150,000. Y no nomás sería para un maestro, sería para más de un maestro, para ayudarles a los maestros, a los estudiantes, ¿verdad? Que regresen de este mundo virtual a la vida en persona, ¿verdad? A que se vuelvan a acostumbrar a estar en persona como estamos antes de la pandemia, ¿verdad?
And Dr. A had a good point in the chat. A lot of it is benefits. It's not necessarily one person or two people are going to make that much, but we have to account for the benefits that get paid out to anybody who takes the jobs.
Yeah.
So total, it's about 210 between neutral ground and these coaches that we're considering. That still leaves us with extra money that's rolling over from this year.
So, el total entre las dos propuestas que nos explicó la directora este día de hoy, entre Neutral Ground y el apoyo para los maestros de un Instructional Coach, sería entre 210,000. Y pues todavía como vieron, hay suficiente dinero para aprobar para más programas o si gustan presentar otros programas más adelante, ¿verdad?
I believe Ms. Nunez has a comment.
Okay.
I have a question. Tengo una pregunta. So with the 150,000 per se, would that include the academic intervention piece of the EL portion and the SEL coach as well, correct? Okay. So mi pregunta era sobre si ese total de 150,000 sería incluyendo la intervención de académica y social y emocional que estaba hablando y incluye los dos.
But just the real-time in-classroom academic support, not intervention programs outside of hours. That stuff we can still fund separately. Or those programs, I shouldn't say that stuff, those programs.
Okay. ¿Hay alguna otra pregunta, señora Fabi o Ms. Rios? Or...
Dr. A, should we vote on it then? If there aren't any
At this point, I'm just waiting to see if there are any other comments or questions, that's all. So if it doesn't seem like there are, so let me just quickly explain the process as I understand it now. So we're going to take two votes. The first vote is going to be, I'm going to ask for a motion and then a second to consider items 4, 5, 6, and 7 as a consent calendar items. And what that means is that we're going to vote once for all of them. But we don't have to vote. Any of the council members can say, yes, I agree, let's do the consent calendar, one vote, but I would like to pull item 6, I'd like to pull item 7 for further discussion. You see? So it's just a process we go through. If everybody's on board and nobody has anything, items to pull, then we take a vote, we move on, and Dr. Ahanguera puts on the next show.
So let me see if I understood this, Dr. A. So it's going to be two votes. One of them will be for consent of items 4, 5, and 6. and the other one would be for the proposal, the Dr. Cicada.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So, en unos minutos, lo que nos mencionó Dr. A, vamos a votar dos veces. El primero de ellos sería si están de acuerdo en los números 4, 5 y 6 de la agenda. Y el otro sería si están de acuerdo con el plan de intervenciones que nos presentó la directora para el programa y para apoyo para los maestros.
Can you give me a second, Isaac? Let me just,
Yeah.
now I'm confused. So let me just be clear on this. Dr. A, from what I understand, the two votes is first, we're voting to vote for everything in a lump group, and then we'll vote for that. But we also need to make sure that our parents understand that if they're not in favor of voting for them in a lump, in a group of items, they can raise their hand and they can tell us to take something out for further discussion. So I think that's the part the parents.
Correct.
Did you want me to try?
Yeah, if you don't mind explaining that.
Okay. Entonces lo que vamos a hacer es, sí van a ser dos votos para terminar este proceso, pero el primer voto va a ser para que todos estemos de acuerdo de que vamos a votar en grupo para los fondos de todos estos programas a los que se ha comunicado la directora Cicada. Si ustedes quisieran seguir el discurso con unos de estos puntos de la agenda, podemos sacarlo del voto y seguir conversando. O si ustedes están de acuerdo, podemos de una vez votar por todos los presupuestos que nos presentó la doctora Cicada.
Yes.
Sí me expliqué.
It'll be fast. Watch. It'll be very quick. You'll see. It's not that complicated. It just sounds complicated. All right, here we go. On behalf of Ms. Fabiola Corona, is there a motion on the floor to consider items 4, 5, 6, and 7 on today's agenda as a consent calendar items? Are there any ayes? Raise your hand so I can see it, please. And Mr. Sanchez, are you an aye as well?
Yeah, I'm an aye.
Thank you, sir. Great. So it passes. We are now considering those items as one consent calendar. At this point, I'm asking council members if there's anybody who would like to pull any items for discussion. So let's start. It goes in alphabetical order. So in this case, it would be, I got to do alphabet now. Ms. Corona, Fabiola Corona, would you like to pull any items or are you okay with all 4 items?
En este punto, señor Fabiola, le gustaría jalar unos puntos, algo que le gustaría que aclaremos un poco mejor antes de votar para el segundo voto.
¿En todo? Or?
Que viene siendo el plan de la directora, ¿verdad?
Sí.
No, pues la verdad se oye todo bien, porque hay necesidad en los dos lados, en lo de los maestros y en lo de porque si no apoyamos a los maestros ¿cómo van a apoyar a nuestros estudiantes?
So any items? Is she pulling anything?
No, it sounds like there's no item she wants to pull.
Ms. Gomez,
she's in favor.
Pull any items?
No items, thank you.
Mr. Gonzalez, pull any items?
No, I'm good.
Ms. Nunez?
All good?
All good. And then we come down to Dr. Cicada. You want to pull anything for further discussion? Probably not, since you.
No, did you talk to Ms. Rios? I think R comes before S.
Oh, did I miss Maria? I'm so sorry, Miss Rios. I apologize. No, Velasco, I'm sorry, buddy. You're the third. You didn't. I'm sorry. This is long. It's Friday. I don't do this every day.
It's Friday.
Pardon me, Miss Rios. Do you have any items you'd like to pull? I apologize.
No, and sadly, I need to leave in the next 2 minutes. But I just wanted to say thank you for all the work that you're doing, and thank you to the teachers. I know it's hard to be in a meeting after a long week and after 5, 7, 6 classes. So thank you for being here. And so I just wanted to echo what I mentioned, not echo, but last Monday. If we can please get together with the principal, the vice principal, so we can have a chat with the parents and see how we can engage more parents and how we can work as a team to talk about the challenges that we might have for next year, and then work together as a team for the well-being of our students. So just Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Ms. Rios. So you're going to vote? Are you going to wait to vote, or are you going to be jumping in?
Yeah, it's a yes.
You're giving yes no matter what? Got it. Dr. Cicada,
Yes.
would you like to pull
I
anything?
trust you.
Thank you. Dr. Cicada pulling
I'm
anything?
good.
Mr.
I'm good.
Velasco?
Well, no. Let's get out of here. Vote. Let's vote.
So just if we could take a vote, all in favor, say aye or raise your hand, please. Mrs.
Aye.
Thank you
Aye.
so much. The vote passes. All items have been approved. The final two items now, thank you, Ms. Rios. The rest of the items are not voting. They're just presentation. Thank you so much for your time. So I sent you the Title I and Title III program review document. If you recall, the last month, the council asked the school to prepare a summary of the single plan for student achievement. If you recall, it's the task of this council to review and recommend any changes that they'd like to make. So, but it's a 140-page document. So we put together a simple summary of each of the 6 goal items. Sans the 5th one because they're not ready yet for that one. So the document is yours if you'd like to take a look at it, of course. And if there are any recommendations or if there are any changes or if you'd like to call together another school site council meeting for discussion, you're welcome to do that. But my ask is kindly that as members, you take a look at that document and either send me an email saying, yeah, we're good, or let's change a couple of these things. And then if there is a matter to change, I'll call together the council and say, look, I can't just change this because, Mr. Gonzalez told me to change it. But if it's like minor things here and there, like the name of this person, like I messed up or something like that, send it to me. If you need clarification on any part of the summary, just send me an email. I would be happy to explain it. But my ask is that you kind of do this within the next week. I sent it, I think, last Friday. And so I'm hoping you'll be able to give it to me sometime at the end of next week. Only because we have to submit all of that documentation and have it all approved and ready to go before Dr. Cicada can submit her full budget for everything, including the other programs. And so if you can kindly take a look at it. If you got nothing, if you think it's good and goes, just send me a message, say we're good, man. But if you have any questions, please do so. Mr. Sanchez, do you mind?
So okay, that was a pretty long message.
Yeah, I know.
But, I'll do,
gotta fill out that
la semana pasada, el viernes, no me estoy equivocando, el subdirector, Dr. A, nos mandó un enlace de Google y en ese enlace hay un documento, ¿verdad? Con 5 metas explicando en qué cómo va a correr la escuela, en qué nos vamos a enfocar, ¿verdad? Son 6 en total, pero ahorita nomás el distrito, la mesa directiva nomás ha aprobado 5, nos vamos a enfocar en 5. Nos estaba explicando el subdirector que le gustaría que se puedan revisar ese documento que envió y el que lo acaba de poner ahí creo que en el chat. Y si hay alguna pregunta, alguna duda, pueden responderle ahí al correo electrónico donde lo mandó el Dr. A. Y si hay algo que quieren ver diferente, algún cambio, lo pueden poner ahí cuando le respondan en el email, Dr. A. Y si también quieren tener otra junta con el consejo escolar para volver a explicar las 5 metas que están en el documento, y podemos también tener otra junta si es lo que quiere el concilio, ¿verdad? And I think you put in the chat, Dr. A, the link again?
No, that was
Oh, I'm sorry, that was
I sent it as an email. I'll put it in
Okay.
I'll send a second.
Ok, so lo mandó la semana pasada al subdirector, lo va a volver a mandar en cuanto lo puedan leer y revisar, si pueden nomás confirmarle ahí por email, lo más pronto posible. Y creo que en el chat, Ms. Gómez puso los minutos de DAC and DLAC. Ms. Gómez?
Yeah, so it's everybody, I think Papalia, you were there. She was there at the DAC and DLAC, so I won't do it in Spanish, but they basically talked about the different summer programs, and I don't know if we already talked about it in the meeting, and I showed up late, so I wasn't sure if I was part of that.
We did.
Summer programs? You
No,
did?
we didn't talk about it. No.
Okay, is that something that's going to be discussed in the next meeting?
It's part of your report, certainly, and if you'd
That
like
would be
to put it on
great.
the agenda, we can put it on the
Yeah,
agenda.
and would be great. So we didn't hear like detailed information, so I would really like to find out what is VIA, what does that summer look like for VIA students, and then they talked about vaccines. So if anybody needs to get vaccinated, Santa Ana is fairly easy to get vaccinated. Seeger Storm Monday, walk-ins are welcome. And that's about it. Ended at 5:30. Nothing other than that.
Gomez, I can quickly, with Dr. Ciceda's permission, give you high-level stuff, or would you like me to do it offline? Dr. Ciceda, you okay about summer school, or shall we? Can you hear me?
Are we meeting again in May?
Our next meeting is, I think, in May. Correct. Yeah, we do have another one scheduled. Yes.
If you could just add it to the next meeting, just because I know Idalia left, and I would love for her to hear the information.
Yes, of course. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Gomez, and we're at adjournment here. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. Motions, Dr. Ciceda, seconds.
Just said,
All in favor? Aye. Thank you so much, everybody. Pleasure to see you all. Have a grand weekend. Thank you, Ms. Nunez, for.
Thank you. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.